We're doing great. All right, so Woody and I are debating the American League play-in game tonight. He likes Houston because of who they have on the mound. I like the Yankees, and I like the Yankees, and I know all the drawbacks with the Yankees, but I like the Yankees because been there, done that. And Tanaka should be fresh. He hasn't thrown in a while.
When have they been there and done that lately?
The Yankees have a lineup full of guys who have been to the playoffs. So how do you see this matchup tonight, Jerry?
Well, I think if they had played in Houston, I would have been more confident because Dallas Keuchel's 15-0 this year at home, and he's got an ERA of close to like 3.77, I think, on the road. And I just think for a young team going into Yankee Stadium, there is a bit of deer in the headlights thing, you know. And I like their enthusiasm, I like their talent, but I just think the Astros really would have been in their best interest to win that final game the other day, and have them the Yankees come into Houston and ambush them. I'm just not quite as confident in Houston having to go into the Bronx for one game.
But I said, Jerry, he has faced him twice this year. He struck out 21, a number that really impresses me, that he understands how to pitch to these Yankees. He gave up no runs. Tanaka gave up 6 runs, his only start against the Astros, and gave up 3 homers. So they've kind of roughed him around a little bit. I would think the Yankees want to get to the Houston Astros bullpen. It's struggled a bit of late, and the Yankees have a better bullpen. Am I being fair in making those comparisons?
Sure you are, Woody. Those are good points. And, the other thing I think is with Keuchel pitching, you don't have guys like Ellsbury and you neutralize those guys like Ellsbury and McCann and they're lefties. So, that's another factor to consider. I just, teams going into Yankee Stadium in big moments like that in one game type playoff, I don't know. Stuff seems to happen, and again, I'm not super confident like you said, Woody. I like Keuchel, but he is, and as great as he's been, I don't know that he's a dominant, total swing and miss type guy. And then when you start getting into the end of that bullpen, I'm just not that confident that those guys are going to be able to go through the heart of that Yankees lineup in the 8th and the 9th inning and just sail through.
Jerry, the first time you went to Yankee Stadium, it didn't keep you from riding well. The first time I went to Yankee Stadium, I wasn't a deer in the headlights other than I looked around and went, wow, look at all the monuments, and it's exactly what it looked like on television. It's exciting to be here. I'm going to give my best effort because I'm in Yankee Stadium. So I have to do, you're deer in the headlights. I'm on the big stage. I'm playing Carnegie Hall.
Typing's a little easier than hitting an 87-mile-an-hour slider that's off the end of the plate.
I don't know. Bichette and I had that argument once, and Bichette told me, you don't know how you couldn't play baseball. None of you people could play baseball. And I said, I want to see you write a column on Deadline, Dante.
You know what's actually funny about this is the old Yankee Stadium had that sort of overwhelming, daunting quality. Not to mention this horrible smell of like stale urine from like the 1930s, which was horrendous. And we used to. What do you remember this? We'd go down into that little room downstairs. It was like the Bat Cave, and you'd have guys in there for 3 weeks in the posties and typing next to each other, and they're all coughing, and it was like
there was a fire.
There
was a fire. I think it's 1981. There was a fire in Yankee Stadium, right where the media room was in this Bat Cave, as Jerry described it. Yeah, you think it's intimidating to go up against the Yankees? Try to go up against Jim Murray and Red Smith and those. I'm taking that too far down the line.
Jerry. This Yankees team is a bit enigmatic, at least to me. The starting pitching has had its set of problems. Yet another problem with Sabathia going into alcohol rehab now. And the lineup just is not Yankee-like. It's not all that impressive, especially with Teixeira out for the rest of the season. I mean, you can make a case that A-Rod was their most valuable position player this year. So do you see the Yankees, even if they get past this game with Houston, do you see them going anywhere in the playoffs?
No, that's the really good question. I mean, I don't see that. They're going to play Kansas City if they advance, and I think Kansas City feels a little bit disrespected. Here's a team that got to the World Series last year, has the best record in the American League, and everybody's picking Toronto. So, I think whoever comes out of this series is not going to get past the Royals. And again, look, I part of me would like to see the Astros get through because they're a great story. They're a fun team. I mean, Carlos Correa is a young kid.
Yeah.
Maybe he comes up huge. He's the kind of kid who comes up huge in a big stage like this. So, as I said, maybe I'm overrating the home field advantage. I just think the Astros had a huge advantage if they went back home because they win a lot there. And even though they played better on the road at the end, they were a bad road team this year. So, that's a factor to me.
One game. Is it fair?
It's not fair, but it makes for great theater, so I guess you have to balance the two.
It goes so against
baseball,
the game, the rhythm of the game, the rhythm of the season. It's exciting, but on the other hand, Jerry, doesn't it seem like quite the dichotomy here?
Yeah, exactly, Les. I'm kind of in the boat where I've had somebody recently said to me, "Why don't you get the wild card teams, play a doubleheader the first day?" And, they'll all be at one place because the team that finished with the better record gets the advantage. But have a doubleheader the first day and then play another game the second day if you need it. Because I think most people would like to see 2 out of 3. It probably is more inherently fair.
Wow.
But on the other hand, boy, I mean, I'm not at the game tonight or tomorrow, but I'm going to be glued to my TV screen because it's great theater and you get a tight game. I mean, it makes for a lot of excitement. So it does go against the grain of what baseball should be, but it does make for great TV.
Let me take you offline of all that. You covered this team here. And I was thinking, driving in this morning to do Around the Horn, that if the Rockies had done what their general manager said, and they played meaningful games in September and got in this year, they wouldn't have one pitcher to pitch in the playoffs. They don't have a dominant pitcher. That it's so important to have a dominant pitcher if you get into that situation, Jerry. Am I making sense? That you want a guy like the Cubs have, or the Pirates have, or Zach Greinke. That's going to make a difference. And you got 2 guys tonight. That's why I'm taking Houston is you have a more dominant pitcher. He's not Clayton Kershaw, but does that make it unfair, or does that make it that if you're a team like the Rockies, you better damn well go get you a David Price?
Well, the other thing, Woody, is, there's a couple things there. Number one, the Rockies, it's hard for them. They have to develop a David Price because he's never going to sign to play there. So unless they can, draft and develop a kid like that, and they've been trying to do that for over 20 years, and that hasn't been successful. So that's certainly one of the issues. But as far as having that one horse, sometimes you're in a situation where, look at the Rangers, for instance. They pitched Cole Hamels Sunday to win the division, but you might have to pitch that guy on the final day of the season just to get to the postseason. So it's great if you have 2 of them because then you can start the other guy in the wild card. But sometimes when you're the wild card team, you're scrambling so much, it's really hard to save that guy for that one game.
Jerry, last thing, very quickly. Tomorrow night's game, I'm going to be glued to the TV for that one with Gerrit Cole going against Arrieta. Quickly, who do you like?
I love Arrieta. I just think the Pirates are really good. I mean, if they get through this, to me, they're a team that might probably get to the World Series. So I picked the Pirates, but, keep in mind, guys, I'm wrong like 98% of the time. So whatever I pick, you usually go the opposite way. But I just think the Pirates are an amazing team, and I think they're going to find a way to get through that. But that's just my call because I think so highly of the talent on that club.
Jerry, it's always. Did you want to say something?
It's always good to talk to you.
It's always
Jerry.
great to talk to you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Talk to you guys.
And besides reading you at ESPN.com, Jerry, I know you're on Twitter a lot. Give us your Twitter handle.
I think it's at Jay Crasnick. I always forget, but I think that's it.
All right. We'll Google it. We'll let everybody know.
And I miss talking to you all the time.